Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about and giving a little review of A Quiet Place Day 1. Just either last week or the week before, I posted my review of Inside Out 2. And in that video, I did talk a little bit about the first Inside Out because I absolutely loved that movie. And if you've been on my Instagram for a while, you know that I also gave the first Quiet Place 10 out of 10, which is the same ranking I gave the first Inside Out. That movie came out a long time ago. I wasn't doing reviews or anything on my channel of movies back then. So let me just talk about the first Quiet Place really briefly, and then we'll get into Day 1. I loved A Quiet Place. I thought it was such an incredible thriller horror movie, and especially for someone's first directorial debut, John Krasinski, he did incredible. And what a simple concept. Just we're living in this world where there are these aliens that you just can't make noise. And it's just such a simple concept, but man, oh man, was it executed so well. There are so many movies out there that have incredible concepts and just aren't executed well. I've talked about some of them in the past, and A Quiet Place is one of the few that does have a great concept and was executed so well. It is such a good movie. The ending is so good and so heartbreaking, but so freaking good. I love the first Quiet Place, and I even gave the second one 9 out of 10 stars because I thought it was very close to being just as good as the first one. So now we get into Day 1, which follows a completely different group of people. This one has nothing to do with John Krasinski's family in the first one or continuing to follow them through the second one. Has nothing to do with them anymore. I will say there is a specific character in this movie that was in the second Quiet Place. Look out for that. I'm not going to give away any names or anything, mostly because I don't know his name. But anyway, there is one character who is in the second one that does come into this first one. So the first Quiet Place movie, it starts many days into this first apocalypse, and the entire first movie we're only following the one family, so we don't get to see what happened initially when this first took place, and we don't get to see anything else that goes on throughout the world of this catastrophe. This movie does show us what happens right away when this first initially happened, and it shows us a little bit more of a bigger scale of things happening, in the sense that this takes place in New York City and not in a small town wherever the first one takes place. I don't think they ever really specifically tell us where the first/second one take place. I actually haven't seen the second one in a really long time, so maybe they do tell us in the second one, but they for sure don't tell us in the first one. This one, it takes place in New York City, where the very first part of the movie is them telling you how loud New York City is. And I personally have never been to New York City. I've been to Buffalo, New York, so definitely not New York City proper or anything like that. But I can imagine it's quite loud. So to imagine having to be quiet in a place like that is insane. So I'm not going to go too much into detail about this movie because my Inside Out review was 30 minutes long, and I don't want to edit another 30-minute long video. I don't have nearly as much to say about this movie as I did about Inside Out, but either way, I will tell you what I did really like about this movie. And there's only one thing I really didn't like about this movie. But what I did like about this movie is I absolutely loved the characters. I'm going to completely butcher her name, but Lupita Nyong'o. Sorry. She's the main character in this film, and something is going on in her life. They don't show in any of the trailers or anything, so I'm not going to go too much into detail about it. But something is going on in her life that she basically doesn't super care that this is happening. She does care in the sense that she has a goal in mind that she wants to fulfill before anything else happens. But there are sirens announcing around New York City that they've figured out really quickly that these monsters don't like water. They can't survive in water. So they're encouraging everyone to quietly get to the docks, and they're going to escort everybody off of New York City and get to an island or something, which is what we see in the second movie. But every time she hears these announcements, she just doesn't go towards it. There's a point in the movie where she even buddies up with a young boy and a young girl, And when they find people heading towards the dock, she tells them to follow them, go with them to the docks. But she goes the complete opposite way because she has a goal in mind that I'm not going to get into because I don't want to spoil that whole part of the movie. And then we meet the character played by Joseph Quinn, who everyone kind of knows from season 4 of Stranger Things. Oh, also I should mention, straight off the bat, for anyone, this is a tiny bit of a spoiler, but I'll just tell you anyway, so you're not sitting there like I was the whole movie. The cat does live. The cat does not get killed, which going into this movie, I was really skeptical about if the cat would live or not. I was really nervous because I was like, they can't kill a cat. They're not going to kill a cat. But then you remember back to the first, literally 5 minutes of the first movie where they straight up on screen kill a young boy. All hopes are out for the cat. But the cat does live. Little boy did not survive, but the cat lives. Which is shocking because I don't have a cat, but I have a dog. My dog would not last 4 minutes in a sound apocalypse where you can't make any noise. He wouldn't last 4 minutes. So I really liked the characters. I really liked the relationship that was formed between Lupita Nyong'o's character as well as Joseph Quinn's character. I thought they had a really great connection and dynamic that they pulled together. There was one scene in this movie that I loved. It really reminded me of the scene in the first one where John Krasinski and Emily Blunt's characters put headphones in and they just like danced together. I thought that was a very adorable scene because I thought it was really cute to see them trying to have some sort of normality in this insane world that they are living in, where they can't make any noise and they're being hunted and all this stuff. So there was one scene in this movie that was very similar to that. And Joseph Quinn's character was just trying to make Lupita's character just smile and have a good time despite the circumstances. And I felt like that scene was so adorable and so cute. It very much reminded me of that scene from the first one in the sense that, yes, all this is going on and we have to be careful and we have to be quiet, but we can still have fun and we can still do things a little bit normally despite all of this. So I thought that scene was so cute. I really loved it. So overall, I gave this movie 8 out of 10. It was not as good as the first one, but it was still a really solid entry into this Quiet Place franchise. I don't know if I want them to make more. I thought this was really good. I had doubts for the second one and I had doubts for this one, and I was very blown away with both of them compared to the first one. Again, the first one is still obviously the superior of this franchise, but both have been really solid entries into this franchise. And at this point, you know what? If they make more, I'm going to keep going and I'm going to keep on seeing them because I've had so much fun with this franchise. Every single movie, I'm sitting there like with my legs up on the chair with me, just feeling so tense. And they also hinted at a few things in this movie that could potentially lead to a fourth entry into this franchise. So I have hopes that there's going to be a fourth one, and if there is, I will be there with bells on. Okay, so now I'm going to just talk a few spoilers of this movie. So if you've seen this movie or you don't care about spoilers and you want to continue on, then let's keep on going. But if you do care and you don't want to be spoiled, then this is where we will leave you for this video. So thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you in my next video. So it is told very early in the movie that Lupita's character is dying. She has no idea how much time she has left because at one point she was given 6 months, and then 6 months came and went, and then she was given 3 months, and then another 3 months came and went. And she's very aware that she is dying, but we just don't know when. Even in the very beginning of the movie, one character says to her, "Hey, do you want to come into the city with us? We're leaving in 30 minutes. And she's like, "I could be dead in 30 minutes. So she's very aware that she is dying. She's very much come to terms with that. She is very aware that she is dying. The reason I didn't want to talk about that in the non-spoiler section, even though it is told like instantly in this movie, is because I feel like that gives away that she really just doesn't care a whole lot if she lives or dies in this movie, because like I said, she has come to terms with the fact that she is going to die. She is sick and she has a goal in mind that she wants to reach, but once she gets that goal, she really could care less what happens to her following that. So her one goal that she wants to do throughout the movie is she wants to go to this one specific pizza place, and it's later found out that the reason she wants to go to that specific pizza place is because her father used to be a piano player, and every time he would take her to one of her shows, after the show they would go to this one specific pizza place and get pizza together. And then her father passed away. She goes to this pizza place as much as she can to remember her father, but at the moment she's living in a hospice home, so she doesn't have access to go there nearly as much. So the only reason she even goes into the city to begin with is because one of the nurses promises her they can get pizza. Her entire goal throughout this movie, it sounds so simple, but her whole goal this movie is to go to this pizza place and get pizza. She just happens to meet Joseph Quinn's character along the way. And this is my one kind of criticism about this movie, is it doesn't really make sense why he is following her the entire movie. He sort of just has like a connection with her cat, and her cat is obviously like a service animal to her. So he finds the cat, and then the cat leads him to her, and then he just follows her through the whole movie and helps her get to where she needs to be. Together they get to the pizza place, and that's where they have the scene that I was referring to earlier. Basically, she's upset about many things that have happened, and he does his very best to make her happy, and he shows her a magic trick, and it's super cute. It's such a cute little scene, and again, it's like all completely silent, which is just amazing. So just such a cute scene. Then the climax of the movie ends with them getting to the dock, but the boat has already started to leave, and these monsters are all surrounding the water because they see that the boat is driving the way, or I guess they don't see it, but the boat is driving away. They hear the boat horn going off, so that's why they're surrounding the water. So there's no way that they can get anywhere near even the water to get to the boat because the monsters are all surrounding the water. So Lupita Nyong'o's character basically kind of like, in a way, sacrifices her escape for Joseph Quinn's character. She gives him her cat. She tells him, like, run, and then she finds a tire iron and just starts smashing cars to draw the monsters away, and so he can run and get away. So she gets the monsters drawn away from the water so that he can run, and he ends up jumping into the water and swimming to the boat. So he swims to safety with the cat. Like I said, cat lives. However, while he's running, he makes a noise, and then the monsters go after him, but he does make it eventually. But because the monsters were drawn away from her, she survives getting the monsters away from him. So then when he gets on the boat, he finds a note because she gave him her sweater. So he finds a note in the sweater basically saying, like, thank you because you helped me live one more time. You helped get me where I needed to be. It's the very end of the film. We see her walking completely alone through New York City, and she has headphones in. She's listening to music. She has like a speaker system, but it has headphones in it. So she's listening to music, but it's all silent because she's listening through headphones, and she's just walking through the city, and she's enjoying her music and enjoying the quiet of New York City. And then at the very end of the movie, she pulls the headphones out of the speaker. So then we hear Michael Bublé singing loud and proud through her speakers, and the very last shot of the movie is one of the monsters jumping down behind her, and that's how the movie ends. And I thought that was such a cool ending. I loved the ending of this movie. Was her sacrifice as emotional as like John Krasinski's sacrifice in the first one? Definitely not, because he did die immediately and he did it for his children. I'm sure she would have died and gotten attacked by the monsters had Joseph Quinn's character not made a noise as he was running away. I'm sure that would have happened. However, I thought this was a better ending than if he had just escaped. It made it more tense, obviously, than if they had just gone after the noises she was making, found her, and attacked her. I thought it made it more tense and thrilling that they were going after the noises she was making, and then he accidentally made a noise, so then they went after him, and it was just like a mere second getaway that he was able to jump into the water and escape the monsters. And then it also led to this very last scene, which I just thought was so good, and it just kind of wrapped up her character in the sense that she knew and she was aware that she she's gonna die eventually. She has this unknown sickness that they never tell us, but she's sick. She doesn't know when she's going to die. She's in a lot of pain from whatever is going on in her body, and she just kind of enjoys her last little bit. She got to go have this pizza one last time that she used to have with her dad, and then she's like, and I'm done. And I just loved it. I thought it was a really good ending. It wasn't like happy, obviously. He escapes, he gets away with the cat. That's happy. Yeah, this wasn't happy what happens to her, but I thought it was a really great ending. I really liked it. I gave A Quiet Place day 1 8 out of 10. Not as good as the first one. I do have to rewatch the second one to see if I like it as much as the second one, but I thought it was a solid movie. 8 out of 10, especially for the third movie in a franchise. So I'm happy with it. I enjoyed it. I will definitely be buying it for my collection when it comes out on DVD. If you liked the Quiet Place movies, this is definitely a great add to the franchise, and I think everyone should check it out if they like these movies. That's going to be it for now. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, I would love it if you would like and subscribe. I post new videos every single Friday, and I would love to have you here. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you later. Bye, everybody.